No, okay. So thank you, Clark. I'm aware that we've got a member of the public with us. Could we just clarify whether they wish to address the meeting?
I haven't been advised that they have.
Okay, thank you. So before we start this evening's meeting, as we're currently in a period of national mourning, I invite my fellow councillors and the council staff and any members of the public that are watching this meeting of the Finance and Administration Committee of the Corfe Mullen Town Council to join in a minute's silence to reflect on the passing of His Royal Highness the Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. Our thoughts are very much with Her Majesty the Queen and the whole royal family at this time. Thank you, everybody. Right, so the first item then is to receive and accept any apologies for absence. None received, I understand.
None received.
To record any declarations of interest. Nobody? No? Okay, thank you. To approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 12th of January 2021. Everybody had a chance to read through those, Tim?
Yep, fine, no worries.
All right, okay. Everybody else content?
Agreed.
Thank you. To approve the accounts for payment. You all had a look through the accounts. Any questions? No? Okay. So we'll approve those. To note the budget monitoring report for the first for the quarter ending 31st of March 2021. Clark.
Could I just let you know, because this is year end, we are very live with this. So it is, I have specifically said it's indicative. It's certainly not final figures. And there are a couple of amendments I just want to give you. Under general admin, the staff training and professional fees, there is an addition of £38.93 for a planning white paper seminar that I attended. So that will take it up to a £2,127.76, which will equal 149% of the budget used. For that particular nominal code, there'll be an overspend of £697.76. But overall, that particular cost centre will still only be 58% of the budget used overall. Over the page under vehicles and plant, we also have a repair bill in, which came in after publishing of the papers. So the petrol/repairs under vehicles and plant, the actual to date will now be £4,466.23, taking the total for that nominal up to the cost centre up to £6,784.40, meaning that 74% of that nominal code has been used, but only 89% of the budget used overall for that whole cost centre. Another one is underneath cemeteries. We have had the cemetery electricity bill of £23.63 under the rates and utilities under cemeteries, which gives an actual of £2,650.25. So a total for that cemeteries is £4,405.97, which is 95% of that nominal code being used. leaving £144.75 remaining in that nominal, but there's still, for that whole cost centre of cemeteries, a 70% underspend. And finally, I had an email today receiving some SIL receipts monies of £739.67, which is up to the 31st of March. So our total SIL receipts for the year will be £6,988.15. Which is £1,989.15 more than what we had predicted we would receive for SIL monies. Obviously, you can never get that 100% because you just don't know what you're going to receive. So those are amendments, but as I say, it is only indicative because we're working on year-end figures at the moment, and we're still receiving invoices in, and we've still got payments to make.
A live document, as they say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrian.
Rise. Just a few quickies. Do we think we're likely to catch up significantly on there? Because I mean, looking at it from the numbers we've got, I think we're going to be 51k better off than what we thought we were when we set the budget, which is great if that's the case, because that's at least going some way to helping us with any deficit for the coming year.
So what I can tell you is, yes, I don't think it's going to be a dramatic change. It does certainly help. You will still be dipping into your reserves in order to cover the additional, because obviously the budget was a substantial amount of reserves being used. I think in this case, the pandemic has actually worked in the council's favour in that we haven't had the expenditure that we thought we perhaps might. Had we not had the pandemic, it probably would have been a very different story. All it means is you're using less of your reserves than what you had planned to do. It doesn't mean that you've actually got £50,000 in your pocket.
No, the other bit was, I'm sure I should know this, and I really apologise for it. The overspend on the allotments, what was that for? I've completely forgotten now. Is that for repairs and for tearing down the shed and the likes?
It's for the compost bays is the majority spend, because that was never budgeted for from the last year. So that was a major overspend. But in all, the allotments have absorbed quite a lot of money in needing a lot of attention. So yeah, unfortunately this year that has been a bit of a sap on finances.
And last one, sorry again. There's mention about the youth trust, because we're expecting some monies to come back to us because of their arrangement with furlough and lack of rent. Have we got any idea on will that come in before year end, or will that come in after our year end? And how much are we looking roughly-ish?
So we have had some substantial monies back. So they have refunded back the furlough monies, because obviously what we pay out in grant goes towards the salaries. We've also, sadly, the school have charged full rent, even though we haven't had, or the youth trust hasn't had access. They wouldn't reduce the rent. They have charged full rent. I did try, but hey, it is what it is. So we won't get any refund on the rent, but the youth trust themselves have refunded the furlough monies for where they've received furlough for the youth leader. We've had some of that back. I'm not sure at this stage. I wouldn't like to say. We may well have received it today or yesterday. What we actually will get will show in year-end figures.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Nikki.
Anybody else? No? Okay, so we're good to note with those additions that Nikki's mentioned. Thank you for that, Nikki. Matters for forthcoming agendas. Anybody got anything they wish to bring before this committee at their next meeting? At this stage? No? Okay, well, lastly, and there's to agree a date of the next meeting that's scheduled for the Are you wanting to say something else, Adrian?
Yes, sorry, completely forgot about this. I don't know whether this falls on community services or finance, though, because it's finance related. I thought it might be.
Everything's finance related, Adrian.
I know. What sort of position are we looking? Are we getting any closer with the toilets up at the wreck, or is that going to be really badly expensive for us still, or are we getting anywhere with it?
Well, it'll be in excess of the clerk's £500 amount that she can spend, but it is community services. But
yeah, it'll actually come to full council because of the amount. We've only had one quote. We're having real difficulty getting people to quote for the work. It's been horrendous. Poor Catherine, I have to say, I've hassled her every single day, and she's just contacting people, and people don't want to quote. They just don't want the work, and I don't understand why. So it's been really, really difficult. But the quote that we have received is of such a significant amount, it will have to go to full council. And I know that's really, really frustrating, because obviously the toilets need to get opened, but we have to go through the legal process to justify the spend.
Is this in terms of the quote? I know that you obviously can't go into detail in terms of who's given the quote, but is it a case of subcontracting out and breaking it down? Would that be a more straightforward or a cheaper way of getting it, i.e. plumber, electrician, tiler?
That's the avenue, that is the avenue that we've been going down, and they do not want the work.
Also individuals rather than one. Right, okay. Duncan.
I think they're so busy.
Right, okay. Thank you.
I recognise that we've been having a lot of work done. It's very, very difficult to get people to, because they are all flat out. The building industry has not been shut for any time during the pandemic, and people have been at home and saving their money and investing in their homes. So, so I'm not surprised. So when this comes to full council, Nikki, are we able to navigate the 3 quote requirement at all? You know, clearly, if no one ever came back, we can't have a situation where the loos don't get repaired. So is there a course we can navigate around with 1 quote? Is it more a reasonable effort to obtain 3 quotes rather than a absolute requirement?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a preference, isn't it?
So
yes.
Well, yeah.
Basically, if we can't get them, then it would be, as long as we can demonstrate that we've done everything we can to try and obtain them.
Yeah, so it is a requirement, not a preference, but we can demonstrate we've done that. That's great, that's fine. Just wanted to know what we were up against.
I don't think it's a requirement for 3 quotes, because I remember historically we used to get 2, and I remember voicing concern about getting at least 3 on some things, and then we started to get additional quotes, but I don't think it's an actual requirement for 3. Is that right, Nikki?
It's good practice to have 3. Auditors don't tend to like it if you have less than 3.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay then, so scheduled next meeting is the 13th of July, 7:45 p.m. unless obviously unless the planning is early finish or less on its agenda before us. Nikki?
I did put on the agenda TBC simply because we're not going to know until the full town council meeting what the state of play with meetings is going to be. So although the next one is scheduled for the 13th, it's just a bit of a heads up that potentially that may or may not take place.
Okay, thank you. Right, enjoy the rest of your evenings, everybody.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.